In Texas this morning, the Border Patrol is allowing asylum seekers to cross into the U.S. from Mexico to have their requests processed. We went to the border and discovered that some asylum seekers who have waited years to press their claims say recent rule changes have actually put them at the back of the line again. President Biden reversed the Trump administration's Remain in Mexico policy. Mireya Villarreal is in Brownsville, Texas, with how the new policy has created dueling approaches among would-be migrants in Mexico. Mireya, good morning.
Well, good morning, Anthony. During the Trump administration, getting an asylum hearing was nearly impossible. And even though the Biden administration has done away with this policy, information and answers are hard to come by right now. But to truly understand what is at stake here, you have to take a look at this issue from both sides of this border. In Matamoros, Mexico, this massive tent town is home to nearly 1,000 migrants. These are the families that followed the rules. They crossed into the U.S. through a checkpoint and were sent back to Mexico to wait for their asylum cases to be heard. Some have been here for 2 years. Sam Bishop is an Army veteran, providing essential medical help and other services for these migrants.
People's daily lives are here, and they've been here for so long that they've, like anywhere else, they've been able to establish and function. Yeah, it's a microcosm of a real, normal, functioning city.
We're not allowed inside the camp, so we talked to Perla Vargas through the fence. She and her daughter had to wait in Mexico for a year and a half, but are hopeful her case will finally get heard. Through the Remain in Mexico policy, more than 70,000 people were sent to Mexico to await asylum hearings, creating a bottleneck in cases during the Trump administration. While those people wait in limbo, others are crossing the border illegally and taking their chances with the new administration. Over the border in Brownsville, Texas, we met up with one of the moms in this group who says they crossed the river on a raft, paying a smuggler $800 for 2 people. They asked for asylum when they were picked up by Border Patrol. That process begins with a COVID test, and a negative result means they are released into the United States to wait for a hearing. Andrea Rudnick is with Team Brownsville, a grassroots organization working to help families gain asylum.
They're just choosing at this point not to even go through the process.
That's right, because the word has gotten out that families with young children are getting across and getting released to go on to their families.
I mean, it's catch and release all over again.
Yes, it is. We're trying not to use those words, but yes, it is.
While the administration and Congress work through legislation, and Mexican officials say they don't have the resources to care for families like this anymore, people like Rudnick and her organization are left trying to fill the gaps.
For Team Brownsville, our motto has always been meeting the needs one family at a time. And that's really all I can think about. I can't think about 10,000 people, 100,000 people, 1 million people.
Today, just 25 people will be allowed to cross this border and finish out their asylum cases in the U.S. And that number is expected to grow over the next few weeks. But just to point out, the Trump administration did believe catch and release didn't work because families wouldn't show up to court. But there is evidence that shows up to 96% of the families that are requesting asylum do show up to their court hearings. Gail?
Maria, thank you very much.